What's going on? Megan McGlover in the building. People, we are in 2025, and I know I can say for myself that the guest that I have on today is an incredible way to start the new year. We about to have a conversation, and a lot of people feelings gonna be hurt. Michi, don't cuss too much when you come on. But with a lot of people feeling gonna be hurt. But baby, I mean to tell you, this guest that I have on this evening is absolutely phenomenal. So, anyways, happy New Year, and for some of you people who still don't know how to properly say it, Happy New Year's. To those of you, welcome to Petty Tuesday. I am Megan McGlover, also known as Dr. Megan. I am here with you right now in 2025. We're going to make this year count. I am not taking no crap this year. I think for a little bit, I had gotten a little too sensitive and started taking too much crap off of people. And so we're not doing that this year. We ain't no crap being taken this year. So anyways, welcome to the pettiest day of the week. It is Tuesday, and it in fact is a Petty Tuesday. And my guest that I have on today is probably one of the most pettiest people that I know, because she don't play, and she really don't care nothing about what you're talking about and about your feelings, and she definitely don't care about your mama. I know that for a fact. Okay, she don't care about your mama. She don't care about your daddy. If you know your daddy, you don't know where he is. What if she don't care about him neither? She don't care about your children. She don't care. But I absolutely love her. I'm gonna go ahead and bring her up, and then I'll do a little introduction of what I know, and allow her to do an introduction as well. Y'all welcome MecheeX. Woo! Not to be confused with Malcolm X, but similar. MecheeX, y'all. Y'all put your hands together for Meechee. Meechee is a phenomenal person, in my personal opinion, because she absolutely loves the community, Black people in particular, and she goes hard. She really goes hard for Black people, and I love that about her. She is a mother. She is a sister. She really leads with her heart, extremely passionate when it comes to certain topics about the Black community. And so I wanted to have her on today, this evening, because there are some things that I want to talk about that a lot of people will not give the opportunity or give the platform to talk to people that they may not agree. So I don't always agree with everything that Meechee says, but I will fight for her right to say it. And I will also fight for her right to believe in whatever it is that she believes in. And so I wanted to be able, when I reopen Petty Tuesdays again, I wanted to be able to have conversations, uncomfortable conversations, because I think that these things need to be said. We need to work these things out together as a people. And so MecheeX really, for me, is one of those people. There's several other people that are going to come, and I may not agree with them. But Meechee, thank you so much, baby, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Introduce yourself a little bit more. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I'm MecheeX. That's what everybody knows me by. But as you said, I'm a mother. I am a business owner for many years. And I like to think I'm a motivational speaker. I try and encourage people to unapologetically be themselves, right? Whether other people like it or agree with it, the bottom line is, are you comfortable in your skin? And I think that's the best thing I've learned at my age, is to be comfortable with me and be unapologetically me. I don't make any mistakes. I think this world is big enough. If you don't really like me, you don't got to be around me. And if you watch me on YouTube, you don't got to watch that either. You could just kind of leave. You don't have to be there. And so, aside from that, I'm the founder of the Black Agenda, which we had you at, which we were glad to have you. And as we go into this year and we do more events, we would love to have you again, and focusing on the needs, as you said, for the Black community. I'm very passionate about those things myself, having dealt with a lot of issues growing up. That the Black community deals with, from racism, losing a brother. We just had the Robert Brooks story. I had my brother murdered in prison by prison guards as well. Just a lot of different things that I've been through. And so I turned that pain into power and use it in a way that I am helping people to do something about the things I've gone through versus just sitting in that pain. And so, that's what I'm out here doing, trying to help our community to get themselves together and bring them as many solutions as I can possibly, find for them and then present to them, which one of them is you. So I love that about you, that you allow people to heal in their trauma and, deal with I won't be cussing on here a lot today because I am a cusser, but that you allow them to deal with that because it allows them to be a better them, which ultimately allows them to then carry that into their households and then into the community. And then hopefully there's a bigger ripple effect and we can be better as a community of Black people because we need a whole lot of healing. So thank you for having me on your show today. It is an honor and I'm always grateful to sit in the same space with you.
Yes, yes. And the Black Agenda, I tell you, was really a phenomenal event a couple years ago. MecheeX put together the Black Agenda movement, and I was so very proud to be in a space again with people that I don't necessarily agree on all points, but I do agree that we need to get it together. And so I want to be a part of that, and was just so honored and humbled that MecheeX asked me to be there. MecheeX also has spearheaded what is it, four of my healing childhood trauma workshops. She will put it on her platform, get people to come to the workshops. I mean, Michi is on it. So she doesn't just talk the talk, but she walks the walk, and I'm really proud of everything that she has done. She's come through a lot of pain, a lot of grief, a lot of suffering, and but she's still, like she said, turning pain into power, making lemonade out of lemons. Okay, she puts a little cayenne pepper in her lemonade, but it's still lemonade, and it's still good. You guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share. Please don't make me have to keep telling you like, subscribe, and share. I don't know why y'all, when you come on here, you should be liking, subscribing, and sharing. Could get the link, send it to your sister, your cousins, your mama, all that. And you're supposed to be doing that anyway, so it's no need for me to keep saying it, right? Monitors, moderators, whatever people are, make sure that people like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay, fantastic. Michi, is there a such thing as Black on Black crime?
I'm going to say no. Okay. And that may be where I don't know if we agree on that one. And let me tell you why. Because I would tell you it is Black on Black crime if it is the such thing, and we're going to start saying white on white crime, Asian on Asian crime, Mexican on Mexican crime, because what you'll find is that crime is based on proximity. Most people commit crimes against the people that they live by, the neighborhoods they are in. So you will find that just like Black people live together in their communities, so they're going to commit more crime against each other. When you go to other communities of people, they're committing crime against their people as well. So that's why I would say that. I think that it is a term that is used to condition the masses and even Black people themselves in believing that we are the most violent people in this country. And again, the truth is that a lot of crime has to do with proximity and the people that you are around. If you live in a community full of Black people in the inner cities, then that's who the crime is going to be against. And again, go to those other communities, you're going to find the same thing.
So, but would it be fair to say that it is a Black person committing a crime against another Black person? Therefore, it is in fact Black on Black crime. I think here's my thing. Mm-hmm. I think that within the Black community, one of the biggest problems is that there's always some level of comparison and no level of real introspection. Mm-hmm. And so the comparison is, it's okay if they do it, it's not okay if I do it. when white people do this and when black people do it. It's like, well, why does it matter? And if white on white crime needs to be a sane, then why don't black people just start saying why don't white crime all the time? Like, in other words, what I'm saying is like, why is it a big deal to say black on black crime when in fact it is blacks killing other black people or black people committing crime against other black people? Why does it matter that white people commit just as heinous crimes or as many crimes as black people against other white people? Who really cares? If we just singulate ourselves into our own healing, if you will, or dealing with our own problems, then why do we really care that white people don't say white on white, or Mexicans don't say Mexican on Mexican, or Asians don't say Asian on Asian? Who really cares? Aren't we more important because we are within the community? Like, why do I care what white people are doing if I'm not in the white community? I care about what black people are doing because I'm in the black community with black folk.
Well, the reason why I will say that it's not about, for me, caring what white people, other communities do. This would be my issue in going to school for criminal justice. What we have found in studying crime is that if we call it black on black crime, what happens is people will take that term and associate crime with the fact that we're black, meaning the crime happens because you're a black person. So it's in your DNA, so to speak. You're doing it because you're black. When what I would like us to, no matter what neighborhood it is in, is to call crime without labeling a race to it. And this is the reason why. If you label it what it is, then we can talk about the factors that actually create that crime and address those. And one of those factors is not a person's race. And I guess that's the point for me. Then if we call it crime and leave that out, what we can begin to look at is not a person's race, but then look at poverty, causes crime, mental disorders. If we have a lot of mental issues in our community because maybe our people are not dealing with that, maybe because we have so many liquor stores on our corner and drug and alcohol use contributes to those things. So for me, I agree with what you're saying, that I don't care what other communities are doing. Again, the wrong wording can then give people the wrong impression, which we never actually get to the root of the problem. So then it's very hard for us to fix it. So I just prefer we will call it crime, because then we can address what causes crime to happen, which you will find the factors are the same no matter what race lives in a community. So that's why I would like to just leave the race out of it.
Very good. I like the way you said that. Now that was good, Meech.
See that? I didn't cut.
Now you didn't even cut that. Y'all put your hands together. Meech didn't cut. Cause Meech can cuss, baby. I can cuss too. But baby, when Meechie gets, when she get, let you go on her page and say a comment and say something personal, Meechie will come in there and start talking about your mama so bad. Your mama could be dead. And she will talk about your mama. I mean, she will start talking about what your mama has on in the casket. I mean, I'm talking about Meechie is,
I'm talking about mama. Don't be coming in my comment section talking about me then. I think every show I have a segment where I will address your stupidity in my comment section. I like a good fight sometimes. If you bring me one on my channel, you might get the attention you're looking for. That's all I'm gonna say. But be ready. And I grew up in a house full of brothers. I know how to roast now. Don't get your feelings hurt.
She know how to roast, and don't get it twisted. Meechie is so. Most people, when they meet me, they don't recognize how tall I am. I'm tall. I mean, I'm not super tall, but I'm tall, right?
I know what you're about to say.
And Meechie, on the other hand, when you see her on screen, you would think because of her personality and all that, you would think she's like 6 feet. Meechie is 5'2". She might be 5'1".
I'm 7 feet inside.
Baby, but that mouth is dunking on you. So Meechie, so when I finally met her, I was like, Meechie?
You were too little to be talking like this.
Baby, Meechie is tiny, but she will let you have it. And don't let this pretty skin fool you, honey. And this lace top she got on, she will roast you and she will hit you in the mouth. I'm telling you, you don't want the smoke. Because you're from Detroit, ain't you, Meech?
Yes. What's
Oh, no, you don't ever want. Listen, people. let me make this announcement real quick. If somebody tell you they from Detroit, just walk off. And try to walk quick because you don't want them to catch you. If somebody tell you Detroit women are not to be played with, they like women from the Bronx. You don't, if a lady tell you she from the Bronx, just get up and walk out. Even if you having a good conversation, it's gonna turn bad soon. So just get your
in Detroit, we find everybody. You can't address us with the rest of the world. A dog, crackhead, man, police, whatever it is, we've just been taught fight. There is no flight in us. We just fight.
There is no fight or flight. There's fight or fight. Yeah, Detroit people don't play around. So I like the way you said that though. There's just crime. And I do understand what you mean by the adjective of black on black crime makes it a point of saying, oh, here goes more black people killing more black people. And I do agree with that, the way that you explained it. And I really hope that people watch this so that they can get a better understanding of that, because I actually don't even really have a rebuttal to that. I think that the way that you put it is good. I do say that there is black on black crime, and because black people are killing black people. But I understand what you mean by, well, we don't have to say it that way, because technically we're just alerting people to the fact that black people are killing black people, as if they are killing people more than other people are. The survivor will say and will show that within black people are killing more within their community based on the numbers. Black people are only 12 to 13% of the population. And so based on the numbers, they're killing more because they're such a small group, if you will, inside of the country. But I do understand what you're saying. All right, let's get on to the next thing.
Okay.
Let's see. Which question do I want to go to? Let's go to this one. What will wake black people up?
That's a hard one. I'm not really sure. I don't have an answer for that. I have an answer for a lot of things, but that I don't really have an answer for, because I will tell you, this is my thing, right? Here go my gripe with the black community. When Trayvon Martin was murdered and they let that white man just walk around, just, making pictures with Skittles, making fun, taunting, selling the gun. And then we saw Tamir Rice, right? The way that he was murdered. And if that didn't outrage you enough for you to get up and just turn this country on its head, for things to change, I honestly don't know what will,
So let's clarify what wake up means. So okay. when I ask the question, what will wake black people up, what do you perceive that as? What is wake up for you?
Well, when you say wake up, I believe that black people need to wake up and understand the conditions that we're in this country, and begin to do something about it. Right now, when I say do something about it, it's levels of it, because I brought up the Tamir Rice situation, but I think that we need to first understand what our issues are. I don't think that enough of the black community does. And as you try to give it to them, there's always these reasons why they don't want to receive it. Or like earlier, maybe you thought I was going to, let's worry about what other communities are doing. So they'll get into a lot of that instead of focusing on what it is that we need to do. And so I tell our people all the time, like, Dorothy, you have the power to go home all the time. We have the power to change our situations the whole entire time. I would say that in systematic racism and things that are going on, we may not have the power that we need to affect on larger levels. But if we begin to do what we need to do in our communities, that's how we then begin to gain the power that we can then use in other bigger arenas, politically or whatever, to obtain the things that we need on a larger level. But the stuff that we need, we ain't got to be waiting on nobody to change stuff for us.
Give me 3 things that need to be done within the community by black people.
Okay, building our own institutions and things that we need. So we cry about schooling and how schooling is not good for our people. We have the school to prison pipeline that affects our children more than any other group of youth. And I look at the money that we spend. We spend so much money. We have a budget to be our own, country. So we spend a lot of money. I look at all the money that we put into Black women got online? Did they really come up with millions of dollars overnight for Kamala? But y'all don't have $1 million. We talk about the disparity in hospitals, right? And it is true. Like white women can track cancer at a much higher rate than black women, but black women die from it at a much higher rate. And that is because when we go into hospitals, our concerns in giving birth and just all kind of things, they don't take our pain very seriously, give us the care that we need soon enough. And that is why. But why haven't we built our own hospitals yet? Like, we have the funds to do these things. Okay, so when you have your hospitals, you have your own schools and things of that nature, then you become a force to be reckoned with, because now you have your own system that you are placing your dollars in. And when people want to live in your community like the Jewish folks do, guess what? If they want to come to the schools that you've built, now they want to come in your schools, they want to come in your hospitals. And when it comes to that, then you're receiving funds to come into your systems that are being built, and you have something to work with to say we have some power. And so we have money. I don't want to hear that from our community. We could be building our own stuff, but we will complain, but we won't go build. Okay. So that is one thing that I would say in our community. When we talk about our communities and the structure of them when it comes to the poverty, there is a level that is systematic. Ghettos are created. But at the same time, I'm so sick of a church on every single corner, and y'all got the power of the Lord is here. The power of the Lord is here. Feel it in the atmosphere. I feel crack in the atmosphere. Okay. I feel hungry people in the atmosphere and deranged folks in the atmosphere. I don't feel Jesus in the atmosphere. So I don't understand why we cannot clean up our communities. You can simply go out and clean up your communities. You could go out and you could board up abandoned houses and buildings and things of that nature. All right. Amen. I don't understand why we haven't taken the time to make sure that our communities are not looking the way that they look. That is something simply we could do. We could take more time in our community to patrol them and care for them. We don't like the police very much, but at the end of the day, I don't see all these black men that's online steady screaming, submit to me, black woman, and talking about all these alpha males they are. Well, why is your ass, that was my first cuss word, why are you not out in the community making sure that the community, your mama, your sister, and that woman you want to submit to you are in a safer place? Why are you not just making your presence known in the community so people know that you are watching, you are protecting? Okay. And we have a small group of people who do that, right? A New Era Detroit does that. So it can be done. And we have seen the difference that they have made in Detroit in the streets, helping to capture people who are out there sexually assaulting, committing crimes against the people in their community. And they have actually brought the crime down. They feed the community. They clean the community. So these are all things that we could definitely be doing for ourselves, that we don't have to, look to somebody else. We keep talking about our youth. I don't want to hear anymore about single mothers, or I don't want to hear about all of these kids that ain't no good, because as black people, if you think our youth are throwaways, it ain't my child, it ain't my problem, then guess what? Don't expect nobody else to care about them. So the third thing you can do is go out here and give a damn about these youth that are lost on the corner. I see brothers do this stuff all the time too. Show them that somebody care. Maybe the home environment is not that great. This is why they take to the streets and take to the gangs. So why don't some of the men and the leaders, so-called leaders, y'all want the patent leather shoes and the Crocs and the suit so you can claim you're a leader and stand on a pulpit or whatever else you stand on, your mic on YouTube or on Instagram? Why are you not out here caring about the youth that don't necessarily belong to you? But if you care about the black community, you should. You don't see other communities just throw away their youth. They do care. You watch white kids go into courtrooms, commit heinous crimes, but because the judge sees that boy and says, I don't know him from a can of paint, but he looks like my nephew. He reminds me of my son. He could be one of my family members because he belongs to my people. Guess what he then has? He has sympathy and empathy for this child and gives him another chance. We look at our own children in our community and say, oh, them damn thugs. So if we as black people don't believe in our youth and do not help them, they are lost, they are vulnerable, their minds are not fully developed. Grab them while they can still be molded into something better and help mold them. So those are the things that I would say. You can combat the crime, fix up your own ghettos and communities. You can build your own structures of places you claim we face so much racism. Build your own and then invest in the youth. We could do all of that, and we don't need somebody else to help us.
Yeah, the comment section is flying. It's flying. It's flying. Comment section is flying right now. So, like, share, subscribe, people. Like, share, subscribe. So, I agree with you 110%. When you start talking about building infrastructures, building, schools, building hospitals, building grocery stores, so forth and so on. Dr. Anderson speaks about this and has been speaking about it for the last 50 years about how Black people need to be their own supply of their own demand. And I agree with that. Do you think that the lack of professionalism and the lack of trust within the Black community keeps Black people from being able to do this? So, like, for example, I bought a house in, and I've never even spoke about this before online, but I bought a house in Chicago, and come to find, I bought a house from a man named Romo Bay, Ramobey, Romo Bay.
You gotta put his whole name out there. That's right.
Oh yeah, Romo Bay, aka Richard Clark. And so, he does the straw man thing and all that, Romo Bay. Mm-hmm. And so he has a company called I Flip Chicago. And I Flip Chicago goes in and gets, rundown homes. And supposedly he is, refurbishing these homes, putting them on the market and flipping them. But these homes are he's literally putting lipstick on a pig. There is rotten wood, mold, rodents, the whole nine behind the walls, but you can't see them. They have code violations, permit violations, all this stuff. And so I bought a house thinking, I got a loan for the house, got a mortgage for the house, the whole nine. I'm thinking I'm going to live in this house. The next week, the ceiling was leaking. Like, just leaking. Then the next week, it was something else. Then the next week, and then blah, 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 blah. Make a long story short, I sent, of course, all kinds of different complaints to the Attorney General's office of Illinois and all of this other stuff. This man is now being investigated because, come to find out, he's stolen millions of dollars. This is a Black man. He has stolen millions of dollars from investors because he's not really flipping these homes. Some homes have not been flipped at all. Some homes he says he's working on it. Come to find out, he's stealing money. All this stuff. They have a full investigation going on. This Black man, and there are videos of this Black man saying, I want to help my community. That's why I'm doing real estate, so we can get some wealth in our community. So, and then we have other people. We have Jay Morrison, and I mean, the list goes on and on. You have so many people within the Black community who claim that they want to help within the community, that they want to, build these infrastructures, but then come to find out they're stealing. So is that a part of why we don't have our own schools, why we don't have our own hospitals, we don't have our own banking systems, because we cannot seem to trust these Negroes?
Well, you know what?
And females too. I mean, what's the one lady's name? Bald head lady, and then she puts on wigs. I can't remember her name. But I mean, it's just, the list goes on and on. It's like, what the hell is going on? The mayor of one of the smaller cities in Illinois, she's stealing money. And I mean, this is like, what? And I'm not saying white people don't steal. Right. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that white people don't steal. I'm not saying Jews don't steal. I'm not saying Asians don't steal. But what I'm saying is that if you're already under the bar, there really should be, I'm thinking, some type of, hey man, let's not do this to each other because we're already behind. Like, we're already behind. We're getting, according to what people say as it pertains to systemic racism, you're already getting screwed every way from Sunday. Yeah. So if this is something that we already know, we're already getting screwed by the system. We're getting screwed by this person, that person. They don't want to hire us. They don't want to da-da-da-da, or whatever it is, low wages, etc. Why are we doing it to each other? Can there not be some type of unspoken bond, if you will, that we will not steal from each other? I mean, you understand what I'm saying? And is that, again, the question is that part of the reason why we can't seem to get ahead? Because you've experienced some of that crap too.
Absolutely. So I think that that is a big part of the reason, but I think that's where a lot of what you do comes in, Megan, because I think that out of the trauma that the Black community has suffered so much, it causes us to be so desperate that we will give in to anybody who talks good. That, I think that's a big part of it, right? Whether it's the preacher that make you feel good, you have a feel good moment. Now we can talk about all of these people that have played, folks like Jay Morrison, right? Jay Morrison, and a lot of the other ones you see, they talk real good. They're on camera, they'll go rent a mansion Airbnb, they'll go get a fancy car off Toro, it ain't theirs at all. They sell this dream individual, right? Because the one thing we have to understand is that Black people love flashy things. Now we can go back to How to Sell to the Negro. You can actually look that up on YouTube, but it's something you can go and watch the psychology about Black people wanting nice things, because for so long we had so much not being allowed to be given to us that we just kind of feel like we have to have all of these nice things. We can be living in the ghetto, but if we got Gucci, it's fine, which that is a messed up mindset. So it's real easy, I think, to placate our people on fancy words and fancy things. What I would like our community to do, because as you said, we do have scammers in all communities. So one thing I would like for us to begin to do is to get out of the mode of being so desperate that we are more logical in the decisions that we make. Because I want to point out something about Jay Morrison. Jay Morrison never ever had a degree, any prior experience or anything to say that he could run a fund of that size or to do any real estate. So what people should have said is, brother, yeah, you talk real good, but we're going to look past the young Malcolm. We're going to look past you using words like Tulsa to trigger us because it means something to the Black community, right? And we're going to say, where's the evidence that you are equipped to handle what you are asking us to help you do, right? So that's what I think that we should begin to ask now. I will say that working in the Black community with people who have done some of the same things and they just about the money and they'll say they're there for the community versus people who are doing the real work. This is the one thing that I have found. People that are really genuinely there to help the community, they're really not online. They're really not having time to be flashy and do all these videos and spend money on these props. They're too busy doing the work. All the people that I know that are doing real work don't have time for the fancy antics. They are there, right? They don't have time to be online every day in a bandit school like Dr. Umar Johnson. Talk about sending them donations, right?
Wait a minute. Hey, man, hey, I don't have nothing against Dr. Umar Johnson, but I am going to say, I mean, there's some things he says, and I'm just like, nigga, what is you talking about? But I will say this, sir, King, what's his name? King Randall, 19 years old, 20 years old, got a school going. Dr. Umar is raising money like the church people raise for the building fund, and they'll never change a doorknob.
Never get an elevator. Yeah.
You can't barely get toilet paper in the church, but they doing a building fund for the last 20 years. Dr. Umar, you got to get this school open, man. You got to get this school open.
Giving him no more donations.
You cannot keep talking about this daggone school, sir. This is ridiculous damn list. By the time you get the school open, the people that started, they were 5. Now they graduating high school. We done already missed the school. If Dr. Umar don't get that school open.
But you know what? And all jokes aside, look at the comparison you just made. Now you talked about Umar, right?
Yeah.
And you brought up King Randall. This is my point. You will not get scammed if you support King Randall. You know why? Because he has the school. He's done the work. The evidence is there. People sent him all kind of money and donations. They did their wish list for those kids. So one thing I will tell you that is a fact in being in the community as many years as I have, watching activist work from fake ass Black Lives Matter all the way to everything in between, and the people who are really doing the work, what I will tell you is that most of us do the work before we ever get a dollar from the community. We will come out of our own pockets.
Yeah.
We will do these things on our own. We will work with the bare minimum. There may be a small group of people in the community who are closer to us who will invest in what it is we're doing. But by the time they get to asking you for some real help in community and real funds, there should already be evidence that they are really about what they say they're about. So I would just tell people to take more time. It actually hurts my feelings when I watch people like my brother Q Butter at Zayek's Institute. I'm glad that people are supporting King Randall. But when I watch people, even New Era, it took them many, many years to get any acknowledgement or get any help. Now they're being recognized, but for many years they were not. And they did that work come hell or high water, whether it was money or it was no money, right? On the bare minimum. So again, we got to stop paying attention, especially with the social media today. People can be whatever they want to be over social media. So I would just say to the community, get some healing from Megan first and foremost, so you're not so desperate in your Black pain and trauma that people can sell you a dream and you buy it so easy, right? Let's work in our logic and not in our pain, because our pain says words like Tulsa, Oklahoma fund will trigger you. Well, I remember what they did to Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're going to rebuild this again. When somebody called himself Young Malcolm, you are attached to that through our trauma. So it makes you have a certain reaction. You're not thinking logically, you're thinking in your emotions, and you're thinking through the pain of Black people's trauma. So let's stop doing that, because there are plenty that are doing the real work. But when I say the real work, there will be evidence of the roots of that work long before you ever got involved and they asked you for anything. You will see the work already being done. And I will tell you this too, a lot of times when you're doing the work, those people do not have time to be online. How often do you see King Randall online? He don't have a YouTube channel. He might go live on his Instagram every now and then, make a quick, couple minute video, say what's going on, show you what's happening with the kids. But he is too busy in his dirty t-shirts teaching them kids how to change oil in a car. How to fix a wall. He in there cleaning up that school. He's helping to help a young youth that are misdirected. He's spending time mentoring to them, helping them in their situations. The camera don't never catch the real work. So be careful of a person who put work in front of the camera 24/7. I'm telling you, it's staged and it ain't real work. So that's the advice that I would give, because I will tell you, what happens is, in the initial question you asked, it does stop people from building in the community. You will go to help organizations and you will get scammed and get played. People get even more traumatized on top of that. And what happens is, here comes along an organization or somebody that's really doing the work. And by the time you meet those groups of people, you are so traumatized. Now you don't want to give. And that's who should truly be receiving. So it ultimately damages the organizations doing the real work as well. So, I mean, that's my thought about that scenario. It is a difficult one. It's sad the way the dynamics work out. Our people continue to get played, and then it plays the real organizations. And the people that are there to do us wrong keep winning. And I'll say this too, we're not a monolith. So every Black person don't want to be on code. They don't want to say we don't do wrong by each other. Some people are just in it for themselves, and we've had that since the plantation. As long as they get the extra cornbread, they will sell you out in a minute. So we can't expect, we got to get out of that mindset too, right, Megan? That just because they Black don't mean that they for us either.
Well, skin folk ain't kin folk. Y'all want to say it all the time, but you don't live by it. You the main ones talking about skin folk ain't kin folk. So you are 100% right. I think that what you said is poignant, because the people that are really doing the work are not getting the shine, because people are impressed by fake shine. Yeah. It's really the zirconia. What's it called? What's the fake zirconia? What's it called? The fake jewelry. Cubic zirconia. Cubic zirconia. It's the cubic zirconians of community work. You know what I mean?
They be shining, but it ain't real.
It be shining, but it ain't real. And it's a shame that so many people within the Black community are impressed by things that are not authentic. Yeah. And so, like you said, we are not a monolith, but there should be a monolith of criteria. Yeah. You should have to prove what it is that you have done so that we can see what it is that you're going to do.
Yes.
And if we have not, I don't want you coming in here talking about the Lord told you to do. If the Lord told you to do it, then the Lord should also show you how to prove it.
Yeah.
And so you need to be able to prove it first, because now Jay Morrison, and I hate to keep bringing his name up, but I mean, it is what it is. Now Jay Morrison talking about he's a pastor. Nigga, really?
So he can be forgiven for his sins.
You gotta be kidding me that you done took that money from that Tulsa situation, all this real estate crap, that big black building, and all this stuff that you did, and now that the people are calling you to the table, now you want to give your life to Christ? Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
They gotta go
and
dragging like Christ.
How can you give your life to Christ when you're supposed to be the young Malcolm? Ain't you supposed to be a Muslim? Ain't you supposed to believe in the Muhammad? And see, this is why I got off the internet. Because see, as soon as I get back on, I got real questions. Because some of this stuff don't make no sense. And people just go along with it like, oh, okay, well, you can't just go along to get along. If you want to make something actually happen, you will have to, within your own community, point things out, point people out and say, no, not you. No, not her. No, not him. Because we have seen that you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing, and you don't really give a damn, and this is nothing but a money grab.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
You know,
yeah. And so I okay, now next question. Because we're kind of on this topic anyways. What's going on with black men and black women? What's the problem? What is the fuck?
Well, I think that people watch too much social media, because I don't even think those perspectives is real.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, what I mean by that is that all of these men that are talking about women, or women saying we oh, these men got to take us on trips, so you got to do all of this, and it's about the money, or men saying, the Kevin Samuels thing of, oh, well, you got to be a 10, you got to be a this, you got to be a that. If you don't look good, men don't want you. When I go into the black communities I'm in, I see black men with black women. And I see average people that are happy and in love and know they are not taking every trip, and he's not decorating the room with Gucci bag and diamonds because it's a Tuesday. Like, all of that is a lie. And there are plenty of men out here that work a regular job and have a regular woman, and they are completely happy. Somebody
put your hand up for a regular job.
Yeah,
honey, man,
and having black love. One thing that was on social media, I really love to see. It was not too long ago. It was this thing going around that everybody was doing, and it was called and it was just black people, and they were saying telling my husband, I love husband, I like that term because y'all act like black women ain't married, right? Telling their husband that they could help them with the mortgage this month. I don't know if y'all seen it, but the women don't even really help, and they keep going to their husband. They got the camera on, and they're like, honey, I just want to let you know I can't help you pay the mortgage this month. And all of the husbands' reactions was different, but they all came to the same conclusion of, when did you ever help me pay the mortgage?
Never help me with the mortgage.
I've been paying the mortgage. You taking care of it. You're going to still be taken care of. And so I think it broke this narrative to show that black men do marry black women, that, black men do take care of their households. There are a lot of black women that don't pay the bills. Their husband does take care of them, and they're not screaming, woman, submit to me. I find the men that scream the submission thing are not worthy of the submission. I have never met, let me just throw this out there, because I am a female that some might say, oh, she too masculine. I have a balance of both. My femininity is a gift, and you have to earn it. I don't just walk around for everybody, okay? I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. But if you are a man and you conduct yourself as a man, you never have to say, Meechee, submit. When you walk into the room and you bring your manhood and your masculinity that fits in you, you make room for my femininity to live. Until then, I'm going to hold on to this masculinity, because we live in a world where there's a whole lot that comes against us as women, especially black women. But when you make me feel in your energy and your presence, now I can sit in my femininity, then I will. But I've never heard a real man that walks in his masculinity ever have to demand submission. The people
100%.
around him just respect him, and they understand that when he's around, he handles business, so they automatically fall in line with what that's supposed to be, right? And this term of submission is not even what people think it is. It's just having honor and respect, knowing that this is what you're good at. We're going to give you your regard in that, and we're going to honor that, right? It's not that anybody is beneath anybody. So ultimately,
100%.
I feel sorry for the new generation, because I think they're buying the younger people. My children are growing up in this generation, and I have to talk to them a lot, because I don't want them to fall for what's being said on social media and this new understanding of dating, because that's the social media narrative that they're trying to push between Black men and Black women, But the reality is, go into the communities, and what do you see? You see Black men and Black women together, having children, having families. Plenty of Black women are married. They're not all single mothers, and all of them that are single mothers ain't single mothers because of the ways they try to make them. So I think it's a very negative narrative that divides us, but I don't think it's as true as people want to believe it is.
Okay. I love that viewpoint. I want to circle back to submission and feminism. I call him my big brother, Andre Taylor. You know Andre Taylor? You gotta know him.
I might.
He used to be a pimp. He was on American Pimp many years ago, when it came out, like 20 years ago or whatever. Now he's got laws changed for shoot. Oh man,
I see his face. I'm good with names.
Over there in Seattle.
Okay.
In Seattle, Washington, he got a law changed that if a police officer kills somebody, they go to jail.
Now I know who you're talking about, because you said that. I know him for that.
You know that?
I know him for that work. Yes, I know him.
You know him.
Yes,
so
I know him. Yes,
he's like my big brother, and he talks about manhood all the time. Okay. He don't play about that manhood stuff. Baby, you gonna get this work. He talks to men straight up, no chaser. Like, yo, the reason why you're having problems is because you're not a man. Like, he just, oh my God, so, for me, it's very similar to you. I talk abrasive, I got this tone of voice, I'm loud, all this other kind of thing. And so people automatically assume that my feminism is not, it's not available.
Right.
But when real men get into my presence, they can attest to you that I am one of the most feminine women that you'll ever come across, because my level of respect for men is very high. It is extremely high. And it's nothing that is ever said. It is just like, oh, there's a man in the room. Okay. Okay, let me do this. Let me adjust. Let me, there are even times where a man is in the room and my voice goes way down, because there's a man in the room. You got to be respectful. He don't want to hear all this loud talking, all that kind of thing. You need something to drink. You need something to eat. You ain't got to do much. You feed them. Give something to drink. What you want to watch on TV, so forth and so on. Sir, you need this. You need that. Boom. And then I leave the room, because it's just respect.
Yeah.
But when men are coming in with skirts on, then there is a level of, well, now I got to figure out how you fit, where you fit, and so forth and so on. And women naturally are going to take over, because we sometimes, and a lot of times, if not most of the time, find ourselves in survival mode. And so before something goes broken or goes down, we are already trying to fix it.
Yeah.
We're already trying to fix it. So if a lot of things that I tell my clients is that feminism and safety go hand in hand. If a woman does not feel safe, if she does not feel that you can handle whatever it is, whether it's the bills, whether it's disciplining the children, whether it is just having a safe space for her, what emotionally, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, if you're not doing that, the woman will go into overdrive, and she will get out of her feminine space and go into a protective mode. And the protective mode is bossy.
Yep.
Because you have to protect yourself. So you become the boss. So you start saying, pick this up, do that. Why are you going over there? Where you been? All these different types of things, because now she's having to feel what she could be a void.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I agree with you 100% about the
I
feminism
know for
thing.
me, I would say that it's something that you said. I am a boss. I am a activist. I have, I'm a teacher. So there are so many things that I have to be in charge of. And if we understand traits that come with masculine energy, let's just say too that everybody should have masculine and feminine energy. Men and women, there should be a balance, and men will carry more
Absolutely.
masculine, but to understand that in masculinity, there are things like assertiveness, leadership, right? And so there are times I need to wear those roles in the life that I live. And the funny thing is, a lot of people, like you said, they will think that women like us that are, independent in a lot of ways and do a lot of things that we have to lead in, that we are really not feminine. But the funny thing is, I look for those moments because I live my life running everything. So when I am in the presence of
Yes.
men, and it doesn't have to be a man I'm in a relationship with, but male friends, cousins, uncles, or whatever. Whenever I'm in the presence of men, I value being able to be just sit back and be a woman. So like
Yes.
you, I'm one of the most feminine women you will ever know if you are lucky enough to know that woman. Because if you haven't met that side of me, that means you probably might be a punk. I'm just telling you, brother. Okay, so and I peeped it, so I gotta say because I might have to beat the intruder up because you just not even ready to answer the door at 2 a.m. So I gotta stay on my P's and Q's. I can tell. So that's
Yeah.
why.
You might be like Breonna Taylor boyfriend and put the girl in front. God rest her soul. And
you
put the
know,
girl in front.
so, but we look for that moment for those of us. I
Absolutely.
get tired of that rap for independent women. Like at the end of the day, the best thing that the men around me can do is be a man and let me be a woman. Take out the trash. I cook. I love to do that. Let me cook. I clean up. Please take out the trash. Make sure the doors is like somebody knocking at the door. You go answer the door. You go
Right.
and get my tires filled and change my oil. Please. You need me to wash your clothes and make you a meal. It'll all be
Yes.
ready when you come back. Like I love to be in that state. I am a mother of 5 children. I got 2 grandbabies. I am the
You got
most
5 children,
loving.
Michi? Dang,
Yes,
go.
I do. My youngest is 16.
Goodness gracious. I
So,
didn't know you was popping them out like that. Geez, yeah, you definitely feminine. Lord have mercy.
right.
This lady is
Shoot.
having
So,
children.
so for me, I have a nurturing side. I am
Yes, of
a
course.
caregiver. I
Yeah.
am a nurturer. I am a lover and very feminine, but I can be whatever I need whenever I need to be. Like Whitney Houston said, I'm every woman, baby.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
get
Shonda said it first.
you gonna get the Michi that you deserve based on who you are, where you stand, and how you act in my life. You
Yeah, because
know?
I'm gonna meet you where you at.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna meet you where you at.
Mm-hmm.
I think that black women in particular get a bad rap because for whatever reason, because that could be a whole nother show, but for whatever reason, black women have had to feel so many roles.
Yeah.
They've had to feel so many roles. And then, you only have so much energy. Just
Mm-hmm.
like you only have so much time in the day. You only have, even though time is not really real, but you know what I'm saying. You only have so much energy. And so if you have to compartmentalize it in all
Yeah.
these different spaces, being feminine and being submissive sometimes is the very last thing, that you, because
Yeah.
femininity and submission is not a part of survival.
No.
You understand? In the animal, kingdom, the femininity, submission. Oh, I'm just gonna sit here while this lion is over there, and girl, you finna get ate up. You better get your ass up, ho. Like you gotta. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You can't just be with your eyes closed, while the spring is the mist from the spring is brushing
Oh,
across your breast. Like what we got shit. This is real stuff going on here,
this
right?
world will eat you alive.
It'll eat you alive. So the feminism comes out and the submission comes out and will come out it'll come out more energetically if it's able to be on the forefront. But if survival and safety and raising these children and trying to go to school and trying to pay your bills and taking care of the car and taking care of the neighbors and people looking at you, somebody trying to screw you and all, if you All of this stuff. Then you're trying to make money. Then people are scamming you and all this stuff going on. Honey, submission and feminism is so far down the line.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to take care of some of the things where the energy is flowing like water. If you can close those things, take care of those things, then more energy, more water will flow in naturally into feminism. It'll flow into submission, and you'll be able to get the woman that you want. But until people stand up and actually take care of some of the load, because unfortunately, a lot of times people get in relationships and they just have another child.
Yeah.
The man that you dating just becomes another son. It just becomes another kid that you got to take care of because he's not taking care of anything.
Yep.
He's not taking anything off of the docket. All right. Last question. You guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all this other stuff. Thank you so much for your comments. MecheeX is killing it. Before we get to the last question, Meechee, tell the people where they can find you. What do you have coming up? How can they support you? All that good stuff. I know you got your website. Come on, tell us everything. Tell it all,
you
girl.
guys can follow me. I'm on Instagram and everything, but I'm not really active on there. If you want to see my videos and the stuff that I do, you can follow me on YouTube at MecheeX, just like my name is spelled in the box. You can find me on YouTube, and you can go to therealmecheex.com. And on that website, you will see all kind of things that I do. You can check out the tab for MX Network or go to mxnetworktv.com. I have my own network, which is on Roku, Fire TV.
She got her own network, whore. She got her own network, whore. Say the network again, Meech.
mxnetworktv.com, y'all. Yes, and so I created that because I get censored a lot because of the way that I talk, and they, I cuss a lot too, but because of some of the things that I talk about, so I get censored because of that. We are talking about as Black people. Well, why we build our own? So I went and built my own. But if you go over to therealmecheex.com, which is one of my websites, it will introduce you to all of them. Of course, I have the network that we have up, which has a plethora of content. It is not just me. We have things over there for solutions, the Black agenda where you were, Megan, all of that stuff is over there from the classes that we did a little over a year ago. So it's plenty of stuff on there. 2A Tuesday, giving you guys information about survival and things like that. And then, of course, I have mxsurvival.com, which is a survival website where you can buy survival food and supplies and things of that nature. And then I also have, hopefully, soon we'll have another one of your healing trauma events coming up this year. It's about time due for another one. But I also have a 6-week boot camp coming up really soon. Next Sunday, actually, you guys, where for 6 weeks I will be teaching you 10 plus ways to make money online, how to build your own website, how to market it even for free. This is the new way of making money. I've been making money online for over 10 years. I haven't worked for anybody. I don't remember the last time I did. So I actually do what I teach. Okay. A lot of these people on here be faking it till they make it. And so we just finished one boot camp, and I've taught plenty of people how to make money online from nothing to get started all the way up to, do you want to have your own network, right? Even if you don't create your own content, I can show you where to get your content, just like Netflix, okay? So you don't have to have your own content. So anyway, we have that coming up. You can go check that out over there. I have a mentorship group. We do 2 classes a month. So there might be something over there you're interested in. And if not, at the very least, just follow me on YouTube and check out some of my content.
MecheeX is getting it done. Okay, you hear all that stuff she just said? I wish I could rewind this right now and slow it down. Like, did you hear all of the different things that she just said? This is what I'm talking about. She's got so many things going on, and whether or not you agree with her and everything that she says, she is still trying to be there for the community, whether you like her or not. And that's what it really should be about. You don't have to necessarily like me as a person, but what it is that I'm trying to give you as the community, whether it's healing childhood trauma workshops, whether it's therapy, whether it's my books that I write, whatever, it's got to be able to say, listen, she is still providing something. And that is what Meechee is doing. And I really think that that is just really, really commendable. I think that's great. You guys, please make sure that you go check Meechee out on her website. Follow her on YouTube. She's got a lot of things going. Last question. I wanted to talk to you about this before, but it already has happened. But now that it has happened, we'll just ask this question in this way. Why do you think that Trump is better for the black community than Kamala would have been?
Look, this is gonna make some black people. You see the little I should do the camel cackle.
The
Um,
Kamala cackle.
um, I will say this. A lot of people will say, well, Trump don't care about the black community. This is the one thing that I will, well, several things I will say about that. I think that Trump being in the office is going to be more beneficial than Kamala ever would because one, Kamala has a track record that she has already shown that she has done some very devastating things to the black community specifically, kept black people in prison, shouldn't have been there. She was sued as Attorney General. The Supreme Court, she wouldn't let black people out of prison talking about we won't have no free labor, okay? So while she's telling you Trump gonna put us into slavery, she already did that and had to, contend with the Supreme Court because of it. So there's just so much, right? When we talk about Trump, now I don't know if Trump is necessarily gonna say, Black community, this is for you. But if we understand politics, there are things that he is going to do that what he does is going to have a positive effect on the Black community, right? Whether he says, I'm doing this for the Black community or not, okay? So for example, getting all of these immigrants out of our country. That's going to have a direct effect on Black people, whether Black people want to receive that or not. When they are in this country, it does affect your job rate. When Trump got all of them out of here last time, the Black unemployment rate went down and was the lowest it had been in a long time because you actually got your jobs back. Okay, so let me throw some out there. When he said Black jobs, Black folks wanted to lose their mind. Don't act dumb. You know what the hell a Black job is. You can't get no construction job no more if you're Black. If you own a Black construction company, you're contending with the companies that are using all this illegal immigrants and paying them illegal wages so that they can get the job for a lower price. When we talk about that, they're cleaning up the hotel rooms. I don't know about y'all, but my daughter ain't got no problem as a Black woman cleaning up a hotel room and she could get a job there over Maria, okay? They in the casinos. They're everywhere. I don't know what y'all talking about. They doing the jobs we don't want. I don't know when we didn't want to work in construction or we didn't want to work in hotels or we didn't want to work in the casinos. So stop with that. So those things are going to have a direct effect. I think that one of the things that Trump did that I really appreciated, whether people like it or not, is that he actually addressed the Black community. I don't know any time I've ever seen a presidential candidate say, what can we do for the Black community? And talk about the things that we go through. He actually had a conference or whatever you call it, gave a speech, a rally, and he was there just to speak to the Black people. And he said, and y'all, everybody was so mad. Oh, make America great again. He want to make us slaves. He addressed that. He said, I know that America has never been great for y'all. So he finally said it. Y'all can let it go. Okay. Right. And he said that we are going to work on doing that. So when we talk about that, of course, the economy and things will get better. I am not against the fact of taking away all of these manufacturing jobs from other countries and bringing them back. I grew up in the era in Detroit when my grandparents and mom and them, they could work in the factories, making cars, make a good living, buy a house when it came to that type of living. All of those things have been taken away from us. I am not in disagreement with a lot of the things that he says. And again, people are going to say, well, he's not for Black folks. If you understand politics, he doesn't have to say, I'm doing this for Black people. If you understand systems that keep us oppressed, him doing things to change some of these systems will automatically have an effect on us as the trickle down starts to happen. So I do believe that Trump is better for the economy. I believe that he is better for the country. I am ecstatic about the fact that these immigrants will be leaving. I am very ecstatic, and I'm gonna use them words because I mean that about the fact that
he is elated.
Yes, he's gonna be dealing with the fact of this transgender issue.
Oh, Jesus.
I am very offended as a woman to be told that I'm a cis woman now. Y'all get to rename me. That's one thing for groups of people to want to have rights in this country, but where you want so many rights that you tread on other people's rights, that's where I draw the line. You don't get to tell me the kind of woman I am now because you want to be a woman. Right. You don't get to say, I want to put on a wig from the costume store, have a whole beard and wear my grandmother's dress and just put on some lipstick to pretend to be a woman so I can come into a girl's bathroom and watch little girls. We're not going to act like people aren't taking advantage of that. I think that it is atrocious the way that they are teaching perversion to our children in these schools, recommending hormone blockers and messing with children's head. I understand in psychology how kids' minds are molded. If you start telling a young child, you know, you can, a boy, you can really be a girl, they gonna start thinking those are their thoughts, and you are actually planting those thoughts in their mind. Why are you teaching children about sex? Why are you teaching them? Let's be clear, the LGBTQ, every single letter in there is about a sexual orientation.
Yeah.
Why do children need to understand people's sexual orientation? That's something that they should deal with when they get older. So I do not like the perversion that they are putting in the schools. I do not like the mental disorder they want us to agree with, because you look in the mirror and see yourself as a woman, but you are a whole man. I don't know, Megan, if you saw the story of, there is a man in California, still has all of his male parts. He is as man as he can be. And he said, well, I'm a woman. So they put him in prison for the crimes.
The black guy, and he raped a whole bunch of broads.
And they put him in prison with women because he said he was one, and then he sexually assaulted a bunch of his cellmates.
Yes, really? He did.
Really? Yes, he did. This cannot be the type of world America is really gonna act like this stuff is sane. So for me, if Trump don't do another thing, because let me say this, I told you already, the black community need to get up and click their heels 3 times. You done had the power to go home the whole damn time, meaning you can fix your own shit. You do not need somebody to be your savior. You already got Jesus as a white savior. I don't know how much he's done, but I have not seen our situations change. So get up and do it for yourself. You don't need him to do none of that. But if he don't do nothing for black people, and if all he do is get the immigrants out of here and stop this perversion in our schools and these laws that say men can be women, they can fight in women's sports, and take away the fact, I think women deal with enough. Now we got to contend with men who want to be us too. You don't think men dominate everything else in this country? Now you want to dominate being a woman? This is the most ridiculous bullshit. That's going to be my second cuss word for the show before we go I've ever heard. If Trump don't do nothing else but do that,
he's already
I'm
done
okay
enough.
with that. He has done more for our community than any other president have, including Obama, if he do those 2 things.
Yeah.
Because it's the black boys I see in skirts all the damn time. Let me just throw that out there.
Woo!
It's the black boys I see in skirts. We the smallest percent, but they make it seem like we the biggest on the goddamn planet.
Well, I say all the time that black people are the people of influence. Mm-hmm. And if you can get black people to do it, then it influences other people, because other races or other cultures of people want to copy whatever it is that the black people are doing, because there are people of influence. Energetically, black people are people of influence. It's not like a bad thing. It's actually a very good thing if you use it properly. But unfortunately, because there is so much trauma in all this entire conversation of the things that we have been speaking about this evening, there's so much stuff that we don't really control our influence. We allow our influence to be paid, and then we just kind of do whatever we're told to do.
They buy our influence.
And all this other stuff. And so it's used in a bad way. It's not used in a good way. And then in comparison, it looks like, again, because we are a small part of the population in America, it looks like we just don't know what the heck it is that we're doing in comparison to other people who have their family structures together, have generational wealth, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I absolutely was shocked that, I've had the conversation about Kamala Harris on several different levels, and I honestly just did not think that they thought that through. I don't think that they thought it through. I think that what they were trying to do was they just wanted to make sure that they had somebody in place so that the hatred for Trump would automatically flow to the other person. They were hoping that hatred for Trump would be enough to put just anybody in office. You would get people saying in different comments, and they would be, also saying it verbally, I don't care if it's a dog, I don't care if it's a donkey, I don't care if it's a fish, I'll vote for that person rather than vote for Donald Trump. And I think that was a bad move. I think that was a bad move, because Kamala in and of herself just simply was not a good candidate. She would not have been good against anybody, to be honest, because she was not a good candidate for what they used her for. Now, if they had let her run as an Indian woman, she probably would have done much, much better. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you have her running as a black woman brought up too many things she did against black people.
Yep.
And so it was just horrible. Then on top of that, so many people, and I have this conversation with people, especially the last, few years, about this conservatism, and black people have always been Democrats. And I'm like, oh, no. Black people have always been conservative. You just voted Democrat. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I say, what do you mean? What do I mean? Black people love Jesus more than white people do. By far. Black people go to church. They do whatever the pastor says. They forgive the pastor for every daggone thing. They believe in the mother gets pregnant with the daddy. The daddy, is there. He's supposed to be in the home. You raise the children. You take the children to church. The boys supposed to be boys. The girl's supposed to be girl. You sing in the choir. What? Black people believe in Christmas. Black people are the most conservative race.
Yeah.
Than anybody. Just anybody. So when you come up there with extremely drastic anti-conservative things that you want to do, you're losing people. Even though they're saying, oh no, all these black people voted for, I don't believe that at all. Because I can tell you right now, black people do not believe that you should take their taxpayers' dollars and allow trans people in the prisons to get transgender surgery. I can tell you that right now. I can go outside right now and find any black person and say, do you want your tax dollars to be used so that Bubba can get changed into Auntie Angie? Do you want that? And they would say, hell no.
Right.
Like, no, I don't want that. You black people are not going to go for that. Black people are also not going to go for this extreme, overly saturated sexuality, sex orientations at the schools. Yep. Because they're conservative. They don't want their kids watching all kind of crazy TV. Have you ever heard black people say, this is an adult conversation? This is an adult TV show. Go to your room. Black people are conservative. They are conservative. They just don't understand what conservation, what happens in this house does not go outside. That's conservative. That means I don't want anybody, the government, the whatever, I don't want them in my house telling me what I should and should not be doing. That's what that means. It's conservatism. Liberalism is, oh, this is what I do at home, and this is how we have sex, and this is what we eat, and this is what time my husband got home, and opening your mouth. Black people don't do that.
Nope.
Black people have never done that. Black people are some of the most secretive, and actually the secrets are bad, but they're the most secretive people on the planet. So you running around here talking about what black people are liberal. No, they're not. No, they're not. So I really think that they were tricked with the Kamala thing because they just kept saying she's black, she's black, she's black. But whether she was black or not, which of course we know that she wasn't, that she isn't. But whether she's black or not, some of these things were way too drastic.
Yeah.
They were way too drastic, and black people were not going to have that. And I think a lot of black people went into that booth and voted differently than what they said they were going to vote. I think
we believe the poll.
A bunch of stuff, but
it said black people still overwhelmingly voted, but it go to show you that the rest of the country disagreed, and that 13% didn't really make a difference.
Well, which is what we've been talking about before. Oh my God. MecheeX. Thank you so much for coming in, man.
Thank you for having me. I had a good time.
This has been absolutely incredible. We got to do it again.
Absolutely.
I just absolutely love the way you think. I everything that you're doing for the community, and I'm here for you. Whatever you need, you doing another Black Agenda, whatever it is, let me know. I will be there for you. This girl is so serious about helping the Black community heal physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. She is working brick by brick by brick down in the dirt, on the concrete, in the streets, trying to make sure that people get justice for wrongdoing. She works with different political people to get justice for people who have been murdered and killed, and oh man, just the list goes on and on. Y'all make sure that you check out MecheeX, and yeah, thank y'all for coming in. It's Petty Tuesday, baby. You know what time it is? She.